What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. What's next, Gareth? So, what is next? Well, today I am crossing state borders. I am walking from Nebraska to Iowa to get myself a donut. And I'm starting this video outside because it's currently around 6 a.m. in the morning. And my wife is in bed because she actually has a job and doesn't just walk around for a hobby. As you may have noticed, I'm actually wearing a jacket today, and that is because the weather has taken a turn.
Yeah, after 3 days of consecutive 40-degree weather, this felt like -5.
We've got some amazing fast food restaurants around here. Oh my word, that's a Krispy Kreme van. That's a Krispy Kreme van. I could literally just grab it from there.
Well, you certainly could, but then you wouldn't have a video, would you? And also, you'd probably be about £300 by now.
There's a lot of tempting foods about on our street. You have all the big takeaway brands around that area. Usually when I come to America, I put about £20 on. And this time I've stayed in my maintenance. You know, I treat myself from time to time. Whereas beforehand, I'd be eating takeaways every day. I do love them. I do miss them. But I also like looking lean. So it's a dilemma. Hey, doggy. Hello, buddy. You a good boy or girl? I've got my first dilemma on this journey, and that is, what route do I take for the first leg of it? I could either walk through this lovely wet grass, which didn't turn out great last time. My shoes took a bit of a beating. Or I can walk through the neighborhood with 0 sidewalks and compete with the cars. I'm going to take on the cars.
It wasn't just cars you had to worry about. You also had to worry about trains, because here, they don't have barriers. You just have to guess by the sound of the horn and how far away it might be.
Oh, look. I found my first brothel in America.
These shops certainly know how to pull a customer in. Or at least, that's what a friend told me anyway.
30 minutes in, and I've nearly been run over already. And that is because people aren't paying attention. Yes, you can turn right on red, but the little man is telling me I can go. So this guy had to brake really hard for me. Just gave him a little nod. Thanks for not killing me. Yep, that's the hill I've just walked up. Couldn't already tell this is going to be a long journey. My legs are really feeling it today. I feel like I've been lied to. Everyone I've spoken to about coming to Omaha has said, oh, don't worry, you'll be fine, it's flat. Flattened fields. So far, on this journey, it's been nothing but hills.
I wasn't regretting my decision of which way to come though, because so far the views had been amazing and the sidewalks had been plentiful until they wasn't.
And we've run out of sidewalk. So now I'm competing with the cars.
And if you've been to America, then you'll know that most of the cars here have been pumped full of more steroids than the people that competed at the enhanced games. But right now, I could use one of those cars, as I was about to hit something very spooky.
I mean, if that doesn't give you the creeps, then I don't know what will. That looks like something out of Goosebumps. In fact, this whole street looks like something out of Goosebumps. I walked onto a set.
Regardless of how eerie this place was, the houses were spectacular. And if I'm being honest, this neighbourhood was a lot more inviting than what was to come. But as we left, I needed to get a drink, and there was a... Hang on a minute. Have I just walked into Mandalay Bay? Were they slot machines? In a gas station? This country never ceases to amaze me.
I just quickly stopped to have a little pit stop and grab some water. And that was just a normal garage. A normal garage where you can get gas, petrol, diesel, whatever you want to call it. But they had slot machines in there. So you can just come fill up your car and have a little flutter on the roulette if you like.
After losing all my money in Las Vegas last December, I decided not to have a little flutter on the roulette, but instead focus on getting to the city centre. And that skyscraper, way in the distance, is where I needed to get to.
Oh no. Well, that's a bugger. I better turn around then.
After gulping down the 2 paracetamol I had in my pocket to get through, I was starting to think I may have taken acid. I mean, you guys did see that, right? There was a scarecrow hanging from that tree. I mean, that was tame compared to what happened next.
So apparently the wildlife are not very friendly around here either. A goose almost killed me.
Look, I know we have geese in the UK as well, but this one might have been carrying a gun. Who knows? It is America. And as I left that neighbourhood, I found a sidewalk that looked like it could have been maintained by West Suffolk Council.
The great thing about getting outside and exploring the city is that you see the differences between the areas. So like last time I was on the west side of Omaha and everything was pristine. Whereas this time I'm on like the southeast of Omaha and it's just not as well maintained. Like as you saw there with the paths and stuff. And even some of the houses are just very run down. But another thing is I just felt really uneasy walking through that neighborhood. And no one, apart from the goose, made me feel uneasy. I just had like an uneasy feeling. You know, that might be on me. I don't know. The goosebump looking houses did freak me out a little bit.
And as we edged closer to the city centre, there was no scary houses or geese to deal with, just the peaceful noise of the traffic going by. There was also a lot of generic mainstream shops as well, so I could get myself a nice coffee.
While I was in Casey's there getting my coffee, some guy walked up to me and he was like, "Hey dude, it's you." And I was like, "Yep, it's me." And I thought, oh, maybe he's watched my videos or he's seen my Instagram or I don't know, maybe he's seen my little cameo on House of the Dragon. Look that up. But no, he just mistaked me for some delivery driver who he has seen in Casey's before. Now I'm sad.
Yep, that's me. Delivery driver, wannabe YouTuber, background in an HBO series. Hang on a minute, is that another cannabis shop?
That is definitely some play on words right there. I wonder if it would make me as horny as it did when I was reading the books.
One thing's for certain, it was certainly easier to get cannabis than it was to get donuts in this state.
And this is why I have to walk to Iowa to get my donut, because shops here have gone extinct. Remember that skyscraper I had to zoom in on way back when? Well, no zoom being used now, which means one thing. We're getting closer to the city center.
In fact, we had just touched down in a city centre, and it's amazing what you can find.
I have been searching far and wide for a set of wheels. I think I may have found my new ride.
Ha! Only joking. The day I become a cyclist will be the day that the UK can keep a Prime Minister in power for more than 1 year. Anyway, as I got closer to the river, I had found something more fun than a bicycle.
Oh yeah. Of course I'm gonna do the slide. Be rude not to, right? Looks steep. Whoa! Blimey. Woo! That was actually quicker than I thought it would be. Right, that's enough fun for today.
Why yes, I'm a very serious British man who likes to drink cups of tea and visit King Charles in Buckingham Palace every Wednesday, don't you know? Oh my word, is that a goose? Oh, it's just a duck. Thank God for that. What on earth is my brother doing here? As I made my way through this wacky park, I realised that Omaha wasn't just fields and corn. And being lucky enough to be able to walk around the city like I have been, I was looking forward to my move here next year. I just wasn't looking forward to maybe blowing away in a tornado at some point.
That's what we're looking for. The Bob Kerry Bridge. That bridge you saw in the last shot is the bridge I will be taking to get across to Iowa, which is the next state. So it's been a good 13 miles to get here. Not the longest walk I've done. Certainly won't be the shortest walk I'll do. But it was a nice walk nonetheless. And then once I get into Iowa, I'm gonna have to walk a few more miles to get the donuts. And then I'm gonna walk back to this city here.
And so it was time to make my way across the Missouri River and enter another state on foot for the first time in my life. And after gazing out at the longest river in the USA for a little while, it was time.
It's one small step for Gareth, one giant leap for a donut. Yep, still America.
I have made it to Iowa, and quite honestly, it just looks the same. It's literally the same. But regardless, I'm in Iowa.
Unsurprisingly, being on the other side of the river didn't really change that much, but it did give me something to walk along that I hadn't seen before. Never mind.
I am back to the trail, which is nice. It's nice to actually be able to walk without getting mowed down every 5 seconds. And I'm not even over exaggerating. It is dangerous out here as a pedestrian. And maybe that's why everyone drives. I have nearly been run over multiple times since I have been here. It's amazing how I'm still alive. And I feel like the reason people aren't paying attention nowadays is because they're always in a rush. And I'm guilty of it myself. I think we just need to slow down because life is going so quickly. I mean, I was 21 last year and now I'm 34. That's how quickly time has gone. And I feel like the reason I do these challenges and I do these mad walks is, mainly because I get to enjoy junk food at the end of them and don't really put on the weight because I've done ridiculous miles. But it's also because I have realized how good it is for my mental health. Just getting outside and moving has done wonders for me. And I challenge you to get out there for half an hour a day. Just a nice brisk walk through the neighborhood or to the local coffee shop, grab a coffee, grab a donut and enjoy it. But just get out there and move. And you might get addicted to it. You might start doing 100,000 steps. But what I would recommend is do 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps to start with. Get them done. And I guarantee you will feel the benefits.
Alright mate, who do you think you are? Winston Churchill with all these motivational speeches? Speaking of Churchill, here's an old railway bridge that was used during the war. I don't actually know if it was used during the war, I just made that up. But it does make a nice story, doesn't it? And nowadays, people will believe any old shit you say. One thing I did know for certain though is that I was getting very hungry at this point. And as I edged closer to destination Doughnut, I started to appreciate Iowa for what it was. A national leader in generating electricity from wind turbines. Now there's a fact.
Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kremes. And we got the Krispy Kremes. Yes, I have gone for a generic Krispy Kreme. I couldn't decide on one, so I went for 3. Shall we see what we've got? We've got the original glazed, the Boston cream filled, and I asked the lady what she likes, and she said this New York cheesecake one, so it'd be rude not to try that as well. I don't think you can beat it. They went down far too easy. All 3 of them were delicious, but in my opinion, you cannot beat an original glazed. It was so fluffy, so light, it melted in my mouth. It was unbelievable. But that is my journey over for today. I am now going to head back to Nebraska. That was about 16 miles to get here, so I think I definitely earned it. But there's one thing left to say. What's next?